All right, guys, what's up? Welcome on today's video. Hope you guys doing fine. Just wanted to quickly cover today's trading day. This was a much better and cleaner day compared to yesterday. Uh, I know I emphasize in all my videos that I only trade New York session. And I yeah, like I don't know, like 90% of the time I do trade New York session only. It just gives me a nice framework uh, to my day basically. But today was different. I think I have a video also when I was trading London session, and I mentioned in that video. I'm not so sure which one, but I did make a video about trading London session. Whenever I see a super fucking clean trade in London session, I take it because I usually watch the charts in the morning as well. I'm located in Europe. Even though I'm living in Europe at the moment, uh, I trade the New York session. I just love the moves much better compared to London session because most of the times London session is just having these accumulation shitty movements, maybe some deep movements there or there, and the it's just not the price action that I like. It's just not the movements that I like. Not so volatile compared to a New York session. So I keep myself trading in New York only. But as I said, if I see a nice clean setup, and it has to be a really good setup, I take it, and that's it. That was the case today. So I made around, I think, 900 something. I'm not so sure. Just quickly, uh, I'll show you the P&L. So I'm trading on a 50k eval with my funded. At the moment, I'm at $52,067. So I'm up 100. I'm sorry, $1,435 on the day. So this was basically two trades that, as you can see, I'm gonna this and just quickly before we get into it, execution. I'm not sure why it does. Anyway, so as you can see, I took two trades today, two wins, really beautiful. The second one's a bit risky, but I mean not risky, but when I review the trade after I took it, I was like, shit, I should have been more mindful. But since I made a beautiful trade in London session, I made a pretty big profit on the day already. I was willing to take the risk. So I'm gonna cover the second trade also, but please do not follow my way of trading all the time because we are different. I'm showing you my absolute best, and I giving you my absolute best advice as I can possibly give you. But sometimes you need to take into consideration that how much you are willing to risk. Are you up on the day, or are you up on the week basically, or are you able to risk or able to take that much or take that risk in a particular account, on a particular account or eval or whatever. I'm doing an evaluation with my funded futures. Shout out to them. um, and I was like, why not? I have nothing to lose basically. And as I mentioned, I was only already made a nice profit with the London session trade that I took. This was like 900. I'm not so sure. I don't want to lie to you. I think it was 990 or 900. I think I made 990 some 995 or something like that. But obviously I had to pay these commissions and stuff like that. And with this trade in New York session, I made around, honestly, around 500. But I had to close it manually because whenever you are doing doing the evaluation, or a challenge, basically a challenge, a prop firm challenge, you have certain rules in terms of like consistency target or consistency rules, which is like usually most of the prop firms have the same consistency rules, if they have any, which is 50%. I mean, 50% consistency rule means you cannot make more than 50% on a day's, like, daily profit cannot exceed 50% of the original target in order to pass the account. So for example, on this 50K account, in order to pass it, you need to make $3,000 profit without losing 2,000. um, and the 50% consistency rule is you cannot make basically more than 1,500 on a day. You cannot make more than 1,500 dollars on a day, because if you make 1,510 or one or whatsoever more than 1,500, you're breaking the consistency rule, because you made more than 50% of your actual target to pass your account. So I hope it's pretty, like, simple. I don't want to over explain it. That's it. So I had to manually close my trade before it hits. I think if I would have made around 550, let's say, I would have break my consistency rule. So I had to close it manually. But honestly, I was aiming for a small, not I'm not aiming for amounts when I'm trading. I'm aiming for a target, like previous day high, session lows, whatsoever. But I'm gonna cover it later. So just got into the trades that I took today. So we had this 1 hour for val gap, as you can see highlighted, and we were basically accumulating above that. Um, yeah, here up on Asian session open, we were going down continuously down. Before that, we were accumulating. Basically, yesterday it was shitty price action, but after Asian session open at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we started to move to the downside to fill this 1 hour for val gap. And I started to watch the charts around, I think in Europe time it was around 9 no, sorry, 8:30, 8 something. And I saw this movement to the downside, filling this 1 hour for val gap. Also, ES was making the same. The only difference was, as soon as NQ hit this 1 hour for val gap, ES made a bullish SMT divergence. So I was started to thinking that, okay, we might take this trade, because I was pretty sure that we are going to be bullish on the day. So I had a bullish bias overall. So even for New York session, I my bias was bullish movements. I was expecting bullish movements. So as soon as I saw this 1 hour for val gap mitigation, and the reversal from that, I'm just gonna switch the time frame. Let's say let's go to the 5 minute. So we had this big ass movement to the downside, um, and I saw this 15-minute unfilled fair value gap after this consideration, like accumulation phase in, basically, this was Asian session. And we, even though we were going down down down, but in a choppy way. And when we started to move down, we left a 15-minute unfilled gap behind, and a huge ass volumish candle to the downside, filling this 1 hour for val gap. And after that, we started to move to the upside and making a bullish SMT on ES also. I had actually, I'm going to switch on the 3 minute time frame, because that's where I highlighted this. So we had this small mitigation of this 1 hour for value gap. We made a little bit of upside movement, and we broke down again, feeling this 1 hour fair value gap fully, like 100%, even a little bit more. So we went through that by this small wick here, as you can see. But after that, I had a nice 3 minute fair value gap, which I was expecting or looking for to execute on as an inversion. As I mentioned, ES was making a SMT divergence, a bullish SMT divergence. Um, yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, this is suspicious that we were accumulating, and then we just came down to fill up this 1 hour for value gap, and we never ever went below these lows, or this one here. So we never ever touched this one. It was a pretty fucking stressful trade, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I entered on, obviously it's not inverse here, but I executed on the 1 minute. I'm gonna show it to you. It's just way too, it's just way too, choppy, super boring. It took like 1 hour 45 minutes, and I was sitting in almost like minus 300 or 400 drawdown for like an hour. So I entered on this candle. As you can see, I was patiently waiting to this inversion of this 3 minute fair value gap here, as I showed you earlier. So this is a 3 minute inversion. After this movement and this movement to the downside, and inversing this 3 minute fair value gap and the SMT on ES, I was like, okay, this is a pretty good sign that we are going to reverse from this one. We just came down to fill up this 1 hour for value gap, and we are going to bounce off this and continue the bullish movement as we did originally. uh, it it turned out I was right, actually. But as you can see, I entered on the trade around 304 candle, 305 here on this candle, this one here. I entered here. But after that, I almost got stopped out. Like, literally almost got stopped out. So as you can see, like, it was not so much left. But yeah, I was like chopping around, chopping around, chopping around. I was so happy that around after 30 minutes, bro, after 30 minutes, we broke the structure to the upside. So we had a nice market structure shift here, as you can see. And I was like, okay, so maybe I am finally out of drawdown and we can make some money. Uh, it didn't happen, so we went back to drawdown again. We chopped around. We came close to my stop loss actually again and again and again. I mean, not so close here, but as you can see, we we maintain this higher low movements, as you can see, comparing to this. All of them are like higher, even not here, but yeah. But actually, if you see this 3 minute Ferrell gap that I took the inversion off of, we never, so we stayed inside this 3 minute Ferrell gap super nicely. And that was kind of an indication for me that I'm okay to take this risk. I'm okay to take this trade, because we are inside this 3 minute fair value gap. I mean, we inversed it, but whenever we came down again and again and again, we stayed inside. Just ignore this small part of these candles and these wicks. But in general, the range, the price range, was inside this 3 minute fair value gap. Um, so that was a pretty good indication for me that okay, we are going to go to the upside and fill up this unfilled 15-minute for value gap. I was shitting my pants, honestly. I mean, not shitting my pants, but I was like, okay, London trade, London session. I promised myself that I'm not going to trade, blah blah blah. But this is a pretty nice setup. Pretty nice setup. We swept out these lows. We mitigated this 1 hour for value gap fully, and then we inverse this 3 minute for value gap. So that was the highest time frame inversion, or the highest time frame bullish for value gap that I had. We got inverse that one, so I was like, I'm okay to take the trade. And finally, that this was 3:05 a.m. and look at this. It took 1 hour 35 minutes to just come out of the drawdown. Uh, After that, when we made this big ass movement to the upside, I maybe it's anyway. I wanted to highlight this high point here. That's where I decided to move my stop to break even because I was like 1.5 hour sitting in more than 400 drawdown was enough for me, enough for my mind, and enough for my mental. I decided to move my stop to break even. So I was like, either I'm gonna make some or zero after this, psychological madness. But after that, as you can see, we moved to the upside pretty beautifully. We had this accumulation here, a little bit of accumulation here, but I highlighted this 1 minute for value gap, which was continuously being respected here. And after, when we moved off of this one, I think we came down here, we came again here, and after this closure, or maybe disclosure, I'm not so sure, I moved my stop from break even to this lows, to this fair value gap, bottom of this fair value gap. I moved my stop here. So I was like, worst case scenario, after one more than 1.5 hours sitting in drawdown for 1.5 hour, I was like, okay, I'm not willing to take zero as a result. So worst case scenario here, I think it was like, I'm not gonna lie, 400 something like that. So I moved my stop here, and I was like, okay, fuck it. That was more than enough for me. Super nice. But eventually, we moved really nicely to the upside, filling up this 15-minute for Vela gap. Really nice trade. It would have been better. I mean, it could have been shorter, and not this stressful, here basically I spend more time in the danger zone than I actually spend time on the profit side. Because after this 4:30, as soon as the 4:30 candle, the 30-minute candle opened, it literally took 20 minutes, 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes, we were already here. So imagine 1.5 hour here and 15 minutes movement here. So in overall, it took me 1 hour 45 minutes because straddle weight, I checked straddle weight also. Um, and it showed me that it took actually 1 hour 45 or 40 something minutes. Anyway, really nice execution, really nice plan, overall really nice trade. But I'm glad that I was willing to risk this much. I was already in profit on the account, so I was like, okay, it's worth to take the risk because it looks so beautiful. uh, anyway, so that was that. After that, as you can see, we disrespected this 15-minute bull bearish, 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Sorry, so we disrespected it. After the disrespect, we stayed inside a little bit. We even came down again a little bit more, but overall we continued to maintain the bullish movements. As you can see, after this big ass movement, we just came down. We literally just came down to fill up this 1 hour for value gap, as you can see. And after that, we stayed inside. What I highlighted here was, I think, was 15-minute also, but I'm just because I just forget to write it inside. Yeah, exactly. So I had this 15-minute, even though it was filled, I had this big volume full candle. So I decided to highlight this 15-minute for value gap. I'm just gonna write it here also. So I had this 15-minute for value gap. It was already mitigated, but as you can see, we had a nice, I mean, not nice, though, but we had a long ass week, uh, almost at the 50% of the fair value gap, a little bit more down. So I highlighted that one. Oh my God, what am I doing? Sorry for this. So yeah, um, so upon market open, I was expecting. So as you can see, the whole pre-market was accumulating. Even though we mitigated this 15-minute fair value gap around 8:15, we were just accumulating above this 15-minute fair value gap, and I was basically waiting for price to sweep out this 15-minute um no sorry 8 50, basically a 15-minute low here, basically 8:15. I was waiting for price to sweep out these lows and mitigate and respect this 15-minute fair value gap again or still. Uh, and from that on, after the sweep of this 15-minute low, I was waiting for price to go back to the upside and take out these liquidity pool because on ES it was triple top. I'm not gonna switch now, but you can check also. It was a triple top here. And we had previous day highs. Even here we hit this one also, but it was way off target. As I said, I had to keep my consistency target. Actually, as you can see, I close here, so I can move it down here if you want to. Here we go. So I was expecting this low to be swept out and the mitigation and the like basically I was expect price to respect and keep this bullish fair value gap as it is. That happened. Also, we had a nice bullish SMT on ES. You can check. It's really beautiful. So NQ came down, swept out these 15-minute lows, mitigated fully this 15-minute fair value gap. I mean, not mitigated because it was already touched here. Sorry, not mitigation, but the sweep of these 15-minute lows. ES made a bullish SMT, so ES never came down and took out these 15-minute lows. I think later on when NQ made this movement to the downside, ES also came down and swept out these 15-minute lows as well, but it's another story. So NQ came down, swept out these lows, while ES was making a bullish SMT. So I think ES was around somewhere around here. So disregard these two candles. ES was here and then started to move even slower than NQ. Look at this big ass candle. So I had a sweep. I had so much buy side liquidity here. These double tops actually equal highs here. These relative equal highs here. I had previous day highs here, and I was like, okay, even though I had this big ass candle, I decided to take it because I was sure that we are going to hit previous day highs because that was the main focus of price action today, in my opinion. Prove me wrong. You trade as you want. I was willing to. Usually, I'm not taking trades if a candle is this big because you can expect price to come down after this big as expansion to rebalance this at least at the 50%, respect this bullish fair value gap, but come down and bounce off that one also, which has happened. But kind of you can say that it was being disrespected by this move, but we basically just came down and sweep out these 930 lows. As you can see, pretty strong draw on liquidity session lows. So that was basically New York session lows. We came down after we hit previous day highs. As you can see, we came down to sweep out New York session lows, or basically the open lows, and we started to move to the upside. um, I was willing to take the risk. As I said, I made pretty nice profit in the London session trade. So I was like, that's okay. Even if I lose some, because I was not risking that much, I was willing to risk this much. So I was like, I'm not even risking half of it that I made in the London session trade, but I was pretty sure. Honestly, I was expecting price to make a much smaller candle, a much smaller candle, but I was expecting this 3 minute fair value gap inversion, maybe around here, and I would have entered here. I would have moved to move my stop to break even as soon as price hits these equal highs here. So if I would have been entering the trade on this candle around here, if it would have been smaller, I I just wanted to enter around here. Wanted to enter. I just wanted to enter around here, and as soon as price hits these equal highs or double tops, I wanted to move my stop to break even. That was the plan. But as you can see, this is one candle, one minute candle. It hit my first target straight away. But I was like, I think I had a gut feeling that we are going to continue at least to this point, to previous day highs basically. So I entered on this candle here. My stop was here, so I was not risking that much. I had a nice 1.5 RR. I was targeting previous day highs, but at the time I was like, okay, but I need to be mindful of the consistency target. So I just closed manually here, around here, as you can see. So I was not waiting for price to hit the actual target, because my target was basically this one here. So even though it was a nice trade, I'm pretty glad that I took it. And that's it basically. I was willing to take this trade. Normally I would have taken this one, because as you can see, immediately after hitting previous day highs, price just dropped down, swept out the open lows, and then after that continued to the upside. We have a nice 1 minute inversion here, so I could have taken it from here also. But honestly, this target was way off, and I couldn't have take that big of a trade because of the consistency target. So that's it. Hope you guys found some value on this video. I know this trade was a little bit choppy moppy, but honestly, it was a good plan. To be honest, because we had a nice liquidity pool here, this 15-minute low, this 15-minute fair value gap. So I was expecting price to respect the bullish order flow by only mitigating this 15-minute fair value gap again and sweeping out these lows. And then we had a nice 3-minute inversion as well. Even though the candle was super big and I could have get stopped out easily. As you can see, I entered here, and basically it was not a stressful moment. So I was kind of expecting price to just hit previous day highs instantly. That was enough for me to make the most out of my trading day, almost the maximum amount that I could have made in a single day, in order to keep the consistency target. So I'm super fine. Not so much bad. Nothing much to talk about. So that's it. Hope you guys found it valuable. Hit me with your DMs if you have any questions. Have a nice trading week, and see you guys in the other video that probably I'm gonna make this week again, because it's just Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. So wish you a profitable week. Take care and see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.